right, so my neighbor Lisa is getting ready to surprise her husband because, well, one, I think he surprised her with a brand new car that for himself, but it's a stick shift. She doesn't know how to drive a stick shift. I taught myself, self-taught, by the way. And then my very first car was a Mazda Miata, which is a stick shift, which I love. I love driving stick shifts. I think they're fun. They make you feel a little fast and furious.
I think it is a sin when I see somebody with a new Camaro, Corvette, Mustang, Charger, and they get an automatic. I'm like, oh, man. If you're going to have something with some snort and muscle, the fun is to drive the 5-speed.
I agree. There's something to it. So I said, you got to get a taste of it, girl. So I told her, get a stick shift from somewhere. Let's not practice on his car. But I'm going to teach you how to do it. We have all these new roads, which are undeveloped right now. So we can go ahead and try on those. And then she can show him. She can surprise him. Maybe it'll be super hot for him. He's like, yeah.
Now, Tisha, I saw what you texted us. Can you explain that a little bit more?
I am terrible at driving an automatic. I can get it stuck in the snow. When I could drive a manual, which my mom taught me how to drive, I had no problems. But I got stuck in an alley so many times in my stupid automatic car that I had to go back to a manual.
What kind of car has a manual now that you're driving?
I have a turbo diesel Volkswagen with a 6-speed.
So I taught myself how to drive a stick. Who taught you? Because you do know how.
My mom did when I was probably about 10, out on the back road. I would sit on her lap, and she taught me how to shift. And then once I was tall enough to reach the pedals, I learned how to do it that way.
You know what? I should go back because I didn't teach myself all the way. When we were in England, when I was 12, my mom let me drive a stick shift, but you're on the other side of the road. No one's ever heard of roundabouts back then.
Well, and your butler, I'm sure, was pretty angry that you were taking so much time to learn.
Yes, but we ignore him all the time.
Right.
But yeah, it was a lot of things working against me at that time, but it is a skill I think every woman should have, for sure.
Absolutely.
It's kind of sexy, too.
And it's the best anti-theft device ever.
You're right. Because think about that. I mean, unless you're a criminal that's learned to drive a stick, nobody's going to take that. That's a great point. I've never thought about that.
Absolutely.
Well done. Thanks, Tisha. Have a great day.
You too.
Appreciate you being on the show. So I learned on like a farm truck.
Yeah.
You know, because it was in the fields and you just had to learn to shift it if you wanted to move it. I think I was like 14. They're like, we need you to bring that truck over there. I'm like, of course. And I remember sitting there going, all right. And I think I kind of learned from my old man. He had an old truck that had the 3 on the tree.
Yeah.
So I understood the to be able to hit the clutch and to get it into the next gear and what the next gear did. I understood the mechanics of it, but it still takes a little bit of time. But my favorite cars that I've had have had sticks.
My uncle had a really, really old truck and it had a stick shift, but it was as long as a cane. You know, it was like super long and then it had an 8-ball.
That's the coolest. When you steal an 8-ball from a pool table at a bar and then drill a...
Yeah.
I mean, don't do that. Don't steal. Now, I want to bring Amanda on the show because I think I'm seeing... If I'm seeing this right, Kat, this may deter you from your plan here with your friend. Amanda, tell us about the vehicle. What was it?
Yeah, my husband it was a Corvette.
Okay.
And I wanted to drive it, and so I thought I could teach myself. Like, I sort of remembered from, like, driver's ed, kind of, and I didn't. I completely wrecked the transmission, like, the bottom dropped out.
My God.
Now, how does he react to something like this? Is he mad? Is he forgiving? How did he react initially?
He was so mad. He was quiet.
Oh, that's the worst.
That is the worst when they have nothing to say because they're so disappointed. So how much in damage was it?
It was about $15,000.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And this was his pride and joy. And has he ever tried to get back at you? Because I have a spiteful husband, so I feel like mine would.
He just brings it up. I mean, anytime anything makes sense, like I'll never be able to make up for this.
I would use that as the argument winner every time. My wife would be like, no, I want Chinese for dinner. I'd be like, yeah remember when you wrecked the Corvette? I did. That's exactly what I did.
So basically what I'm getting from this phone call is I have to make sure that my neighbor is like completely confident in how to drive this stick shift, right?
Yeah. In fact, I think I don't know. Do you want that responsibility? Maybe have someone else teach her.
You can lead a horse to water. I'm not going to sit there and make her not drive this car. It's like a hot car. She wants to drive it.
I think you're onto something here because Kat also in her spare time rides a recumbent bike.
What does that have anything to do with it? Do you have a quota that you have to meet?
Nothing to do with it. She's right.
Yeah, thank you.